Welcome to the new session. So until now we were able to cover the classification of all the AM processes, their construction details, principles, advantages, disadvantages and applications. Now we are going into or stepping into understanding the post processes of AM parts. So there are various techniques of post processing which are mainly used to enhance the components or to overcome the limitations of additive manufacturing, which we have discussed in their process. So it will start from support material removal till the non-thermal and thermal techniques. Welcome to the session. So in this session we are going to know about the post processing. So in the additive manufacturing we do require post processing after the part gets built or to make the parts for later use. Here post processing techniques depends on which manufacturing technique has been used, and the reason for post processing varies from different machine to machine and technique to technique. The various post processing techniques which needs to be focused for the given product are being included here. So we are going to know about them one by one. The first and the most common post processing technique is the support material removal. This technique is used mainly for most of the additive manufacturing techniques. Next we are having the surface texture improvement to have a fine surface finishes for that. Then we are having the accuracy improvements to make the products fit to use. Then we have the aesthetic improvements to give a good look for the products which have been developed from additive manufacturing. Then we are having the preparation for use as a pattern. Here the product is going to be fitting into the investment castings. For that the pattern has to be prepared. Then property enhancement using non-thermal techniques. Some of the non-thermal techniques can be used for giving them better strength and rigidity. Then we are having property enhancement using thermal techniques. Here the material or products are subjected to elevated temperature to remove the moisture or porosity and give them better strength and rigidity and flexibility for usage as an end product. And mainly these are used to enhance the components which are having certain limitations or to overcome the AM limitations, whichever we have seen in their production techniques. Here we will know about the first post processing technique or method, that is support material removal. This is a common method of post processing. In this process the part being built is fully encapsulated in the build material. Here you can see one typical example of a powder based process in which the part is encapsulated by the powder surrounding it. Here the part must be removed from the surrounding material prior to use. So before you are using it, you have to remove the support materials. So the process which provides natural supports means the primarily in case of a powder bed and sheet based process, the base material or the support material is its build material only, that has to be removed. Therefore all powder bed fusion, mainly that is PBF and binder printing process, requires removal of parts from the loose powder surrounding the part. So here you can see the part getting removed from its surrounding. This can be done by using a vibrator. A vibrator will be making the part vibrate and the surrounding material is going to get sieved down. Or using vacuum assistance, you can suck the powder particles which are encapsulating the part. So similarly, in case of a LOM process or a bound them from a sheet metal lamination process, here we require to remove the encapsulated sheet materials. So here we can see the paper sheet or the laminated sheet encapsulating the part. So decubing process taking place with the help of a knife and chisels and sharp tools. So slowly the support materials are going to be removed and at the end we get the end product. So mainly the support materials may be of the parent material, that is build material, like a powder itself only or a polymer, or it can be in case of a LOM process the paper sheet itself only. These has to be removed with the help of some tools or by using some additional machines like a vibrator. First one, the support material removal. The support material can be broadly classified into two categories. One is the natural supports, another one is the synthetic supports. So in the process of additive manufacturing, as we have seen that the build part is fully encapsulated in the build material. The part must be removed from its surrounding. So here you can already see the parts are getting removed from its surrounding. So the process which provides natural supports are primarily like the powder bed or a sheet mesh. So they has to be removed. So material which surrounds the part as a naturally means they are going to be from its own material, where from which you are going to occur the or a product is going to be built. So that supports itself only we call it as a natural supports. They are the byproduct of the build process only. So in the build process itself only they come as a byproduct. Next comes the synthetic supports. Sometimes rigid supports which are to be designed and built to, for these we require to design some supports. So while building itself only we are going to design these supports. So they are going to be restraining or they are going to be remaining with the build material, or they are going to be having a attachment with the part itself only. Like in the beginning of the build itself only, the build platform will be acting as a one support on which the product is going to be getting built. Next, processes which don't naturally support or parts sometimes require synthetic supports. For example, in case of a overhanging feature, so if a product is something like this, so the build is to be having a overhanging like this. So for that to build, what we require to provide some supports like scaffolds straight enough, so we can provide the scaffolds. So in a mesh form, or in case of a tetrahedron or octal shape, we can provide these supports. These synthetic supports are required to have in a such a way that they are going to reduce distortion. Means because of the self weight of this material itself only, the bending of the beam or this full structure may occur. For that, it has to resist the loading. Next, synthetic materials or synthetic supports can be made from the build material. So sometimes we can build it with the build material itself only. Like in case of a powder based fusion technique, we can use the build material, or we can have a secondary materials also, like polymers. So, but these materials are to be either weak or they should be soluble in liquid solution. Weaker in the sense, by using hand we can remove them easily, so that should be possible. And soluble in liquid solution, like if you have some etchants which are going to etch away these material, then it will be very useful. And if some acid wash, if it is possible, then also it is going to be helpful. Sometimes we are having synthetic supports like made up of wax, which are when subjected to lower temperature, then they are going to melt away, and they are going to be removed, or they can be they will help in removal of these supports, and we get the build material without these supports. So melting will help this removal easily. So these are the types of uh, support removal technique or support removal methods applied in additive manufacturing. There are many more support material removal techniques which are applicable on a commercial scale, like we can have sandblasting, or we can have vacuum cleaning, or sometimes we can have the brushing of these materials. So those are also possible. Next post-processing method is surface texture improvement. AM parts have common surface texture feature that need to be modified for aesthetic look, that is a good look, and performance reason. Means when you are going to use them for some application where you have to have a fix, then we have to concentrate on how it is going to perform, hold it. For that reason part also we make sure that it is having a good surface texture. So common textures which are going to be observed on AM parts or AM manufactured parts are the step or stair steps feature. This is mainly because of the powder adhesion. So fill pattern from the extrusion also, we have seen there is a step formation. Means here in the fill pattern, what will happen, you are having the filling of the filament. So what will happen here, you can see they are going to have a layer by layer deposition. So when you are going to have a layer by layer deposition, you can see a stepping of the material. So step like formation will be taking place on the material surface. So this type of a feature is going to be created. And in case of a beam based system also we find, so these are the witness marks, so for that from the support material which are going to be visible. So stair stepping is a fundamental issue because of the layered manufacturing, and is a difficult to overcome. So while production, it is very difficult to overcome. So although one can think of having a thin layer thickness or to minimize this error, means providing a layer thickness of a very small diameter, so we can have, or a small powder uh, uh, input, like a small thin powder we can have to minimize the error. But the expense of a building will be very much. Why? Because the layer will be taking more area to build, so it will take more time to build the complete volume of the build product. And moreover, if a fine powder we are using, the powder has to be controlled. There also we are going to take more time for controlling of this powder. And mainly in powder adhesion, so there is also one particular problem of binder printing. So binding will not take place because of the smaller powder. So why? Because we get a very small surface area. So in case of BBF and powder based deposition, this can create some problem. And mainly because of the powder, we can't control the powder in a fine particles. So to some degree we can control, but at a very fine level we can't control it. But by changing part orientation, powder morphology and thermal control techniques, we are able to have a surface texture improvement. Means what we are doing is, here we are finding out separate powder shapes which are going to get bounded, which are having very high surface finishes. For that also it can be used. And later we can have thermal techniques like subjecting these products to more than its setting temperature, then curing, or it is going to adhere them properly. There we can remove away the texture, means the witness marks can be removed. So this is what happens in case of a surface texture improvement. Next comes the accuracy improvements. So there is a wide range of accuracy capabilities in case of AM. Some processes are able to have a capability of a sub-micron tolerance also, whereas others have accuracy around 1 mm. So in the maximum stage we can see there is a micron level tolerance, but when compared to CNC machines, these tolerances are not too good. So typically for large build volumes and faster building speed, we get there is a not so good accuracy. So particularly the accuracy is worse when compared to a CNC process. So what we can do is, in this one we can have a technique in which we can go with the beam deposition process. Here mainly not going with all the conventional additive manufacturing. Here we can think of having a deposition rate which is very slow, and more accurate deposition can happen with these techniques. So here the accuracy can be available in terms of few microns. So larger built deposition machines have accuracies of several millimeters also. So to have the accurate parts, to have a better tolerances, what we can do is we can go for a high leveled machines. So there we can get a quite accurate finish, or we can get a quite accurate products built from this technique. Next, for coming to the aesthetic improvement, when we are working on the dimensions, and when you are working on its shape, much pleasing appearance will come when we are giving them the best outlook. So that is the aesthetic part. So for that we have to coat them, or give some coating. Here you can see one method in which the SLA part is built, which is the selective that is stereolithography apparatus, that is a polymer based. So this is a polymer based product, and what we can give for this one is a chrome plating. So this is a chrome plating given after dipping it into a chrome plating solution. So this gives a pleasing look and a very good aesthetic look also. So here the products looks like the real stainless steel, or which is having chrome finish. Then moreover it will remove away all the witness marks while doing the product. So that also can be seen here. So AM is used to make parts which will be displayed for aesthetic, as we have seen that. So these are mainly used for the model to be kept on a desktop to make the customer feel what type of product it is going to, mainly for marketing. It is a marketing tool. So at the end application it should be pleasing. So more often aesthetic improvement is solely related to its surface finish. How a good surface finish we can provide. So difference in surface texture between one region and another region may be desired, but oftenly we desire that one in a jewelry, but not in all cases. So we find that the product should have a similar type of surface finish all over. Some parts can effectively colored. We can give some dyeing agent or use some pigment so that they are going to be dipped into the dye and we get the required shape. But when we consider it for a powder bed type of a technique products, what will happen? These products are inherently having some porosity, and in these parts what will happen? The absorption of the dye is going to take place. Sometimes it is going to be very good because it is going to overcome all the porosity, and sometimes it may consume more amount of dye or color pigment may enter into the unrelated areas also. So quite optimization has to take place when we are going to do the coloring. Another aesthetic improvement is that when you are giving some coating for that one, what will happen? It is going to strengthen the part and it is going to have improved wear resistance. So like by providing chrome plating for that one, the surface is going to have a resistance to wear, and it will be moisture also will not get attracted because it is a polymer. When it is coming in contact with moisture, so this materials or polymer materials are going to deteriorate, or it is going to spoil its shape and sizes also. For that we can give them the chrome plating finish for a better aesthetic improvements also. So preparation for a use as a pattern, as we are very much know that AM are planned as patterns for investment casting, sand casting, room temperature vulcanization, or RTV molding, spray metal deposition, and other pattern replication process. So use of AM pattern for metal part creation using casting process is shown in the figure. So here you can see in this figure the metal rings, that is the finger rings, are attached to the casting tree. Before these metal rings, they are going to be created in the pattern. So this is the pattern, the close-up of a ring pattern it is shown, and these rings are made using the 3D printer, that is Projet, using that one. So here you can see the collection of rings. So these are the collection of rings built on a support platform. So this is a support platform. Each ring is supported by a secondary support material. So these are the secondary support material, and they have been connected. Each are going to be connected. In this instant, the rings are added to the tree after additive manufacturing. So these are the rings which are getting added to the tree, and before they are going to get casted. So using this technique we can have the preparation of a pattern. For then we can go this one for the investment casting, and mainly this will avoid small textures which are very fine to create in sand casting. So this is what is required in case of preparation of patterns. Here is a typical example of a preparation of a pattern. So here we can see a selective laser sintering technique, a sand cast pattern which is created here, the sand cast pattern. But before that, what has been here we are seeing a V624 valve car engine. So it is having a loose powder. These are the loose powder which is going to be removed from this one with the help of a brush, and then we can see the pattern getting prepared. So along with the casting gear. So what we can do here, they are going to have a finishing, means you can have a buffing and a grinding and a finishing, and all the joints whatever are required which are going to be related to this one are going to be acting as a support. So which are the supports, those are going to be retained, and which are not necessary for the casting, that are been removed, like providing risers and runners, all these are going to be taken care. So mainly preparation of a pattern involves many steps. So here what we can think of doing is, whichever the sand or support materials are there, that we can be brushed out, or with the help of a vacuum cleaner these are going to be removed, or with the help of a blasting or air blasting, so these can be flushed away, and then the pattern gets ready. This is what happens in case of the post processing for preparation for use as a pattern. Next, here we can see one method in which we are using the RTV molding process, where for pattern preparation we use the additive manufacturing. Here is the step. So in this RTV molding or silicon rubber molding, so this is the silicon rubber molding. So you are going to have the AM part, which is going to be here, which is we are going to have the taping. So first the taping colored tape, so make the parting line. Then what we are going to do, we are going to locate it for the mold assembly, and here the runners and riser gates are added to this. Then mold is supported in the mold box, means it is being floated in the mold blocks, and a rubber like material is poured. Then we are going to pour the rubber like material into this one. Then the poured material is going to encapsulate this mold, and then what will happen, it is going to allow it to solidify. So this technique, after when you are going to remove it, what we can do, we can get this molded parts. So this technique is mainly used in our 3D effect films, or in case of animation films for masking, for mask preparation they use this technique. So in animation, or in case of a film production, for giving the mask for different actors, they are using this preparation of pattern technique also. Here we'll know property enhancement using non-thermal techniques. Under powder bed and extrusion process, often certain porous structures are going to retain. So proprietary methods and materials have been developed to strengthen various AM parts. Among that, one of the best known is the RP tempering process, developed by PAR 3 Technologies USA. In RP technology or RP tempering, it is a collection of materials and treatment of operation used in increasing the strength, ductility, heat deflection, flammability resistance, and other properties of AN parts using a nanocomposite reinforcement. By reinforcing the porous particles with some nanocomposites, we are able to get these desired properties. Additionally, the part can also undergo some thermal curing in a low temperature oven, so which will completely cure the incomplete photopolymers, which are to be cured using some additional heat. So some cases, by using this technique, we can increase the mechanical properties of these products. The reason for this one is, sometimes because of overflooding of materials or layer by layer deposition, the visible lights will be not able to penetrate deep inside for curing of the substrate. For that, what we can do, we can have an additional little amount of thermal curing. Next, post-processing technique is property enhancement using thermal techniques. So after AM process, many parts have to be thermally processed to enhance their mechanical and thermal properties. In cases of beam deposition and powder bed fusion techniques, which are mainly used for metals, thermal processing is primarily a heat treatment process to form the desired microstructure and to relieve the thermal stresses or the residual stresses. So grain refinement will make the material go into good strength and it will be giving the much required mechanical enhancements. So in these instance, traditional recipes of heat treatment developed for the specific metallic alloys can be employed and used for its betterment. In some cases, special heat treatment methods have been also developed to retain the finer grained microstructures within the AM parts, need not go for any additional treatment. So by this we are able to provide some stress relief and ductility enhancement in the parts produced by these techniques, that is beam deposition or powder bed fusion techniques. Thank you. You can contact me through my email ID, that is naveen.kalal@canaraengineering.in.